Yep, that's right, folks. We're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to clown on some conservatives because who doesn't enjoy clowning on some conservatives? We're going to first listen to Sean Hannity screech and moan about, oh my God, socialism. I'm doing Red Scare McCarthyism because it's fucking 1955. They dedicated a whole segment on his show to look at this thumbnail, bro. This I know this does numbers. I know this does numbers with the 65 plus crowd. Look at this. You got the DSA flag. You got the American flag on fire. Socialist contagion, because socialism is a plague that is running rampant through the Democratic Party. Oh my God. And dude, I don't is this doing up 41,000 views in 21 hours for Fox? I don't know. I don't know, man. It doesn't even really have that great of an engagement rate either. It's 41,000 views, 1.3K likes. I don't know. I don't want to check the comments because I know these people are fucking
Again, with something
brain
that we're
diseased.
calling a socialist contagion. It's ripping through the entire Democratic Party. It's got no end in sight. Take a look.
How long until the Republicans start trying to how long until they start comparing socialism to COVID? Also, holy fuck, by the way, guys. Look at how many hashtags are on this video. Hashtag Fox, hashtag media, hashtag breaking news, hashtag Hannity. Bro, I put 3 hashtags in my video. What the fuck? Okay, pardon me. Oh God, Bill Maher.
We've run this experiment many times, and the results are always obvious. Here's capitalist South Korea at night from space. Here's socialist North Korea. Yeah. In Venezuela.
Yeah, I'm Bill Maher. I'm Bill Maher. I'm an esteemed political commentator. I'm an esteemed centrist commentator who is actually far more intellectual than every other late night host, which is exactly why I'm going to make this point and not do any further critical thinking on it. Do you guys do they not realize there are very tangible reasons as to why North and South Korea are the way that they are? Is Bill Maher so fucking stupid that he doesn't recognize that it is direct US intervention that has led these two countries to the exact point that they're at today? The reason why North Korea is a hermit dictatorship is directly because of US involvement in the Korean War. Every time there is a socialist country, I'm spoiling my commentary here. Every time there's a socialist country trying to do socialism, the United States swoops in and says, can't do that. They're going to talk about Venezuela. Oh, you mean to tell me that all of the interventions throughout Latin America and all of the sanctions levied on Venezuela don't play a role in the country's current outcomes? They don't mention Vietnam for some reason. Maybe because it's a semi-successful socialist country. But oh, by the way, the United States tried to stop socialism there as well and fucking failed miserably. Like these people just fundamentally do not understand anything about like political theory and political thought. They're going to spend 7 minutes and 1 second talking about socialism, and I guarantee that none of them can actually define what socialism is.
Traded capitalism for Hugo Chavez's Socialism for the 21st Century, which turned out to be like socialism in the last century or any century. A mess. It turned one of Latin America's richest countries into one of its poorest. Low wages, high inflation, shortages, outages, 8 million people fleeing. If you think New York can somehow reinvent this wheel, you're in for a rude awakening.
I wonder what the rest of that article says, because I'm willing to bet that they list the actual material reasons as to why Venezuela is so fucked up. You guys can look it up yourself. Just type in US intervention in Latin America. And there have been dozens, like many dozens, like probably, I don't know, 10 dozen instances of the United States meddling in the affairs of Chile, Argentina, the Dominican Republic, Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, all of them get fucked with by the Western capitalist powerhouse that is the United States of America. And there's a very fundamental reason for this. The reason why the United States and other Western capitalist nations attempt to quell socialism before it becomes overtly popular is because they fear socialism. And I don't mean that to be like, oh my God, socialism's scary. No, what they fear is the working class having a modicum of political power. We see this domestically at home. The union busting is a perfect example of this. The government fears unions because the government is bought by big business, and big business hates unions because it gives the workers power. It gives the workers higher wages and better benefits, which cut into the company's profits. The United States does not want socialism because it is a threat to the bottom line of these corporations. I should probably okay. Socialism scares capitalism because it is a concentration of resources within the working class. It is also, in some instances, the government coming in and seizing control of natural resource companies, maybe like oil and gas companies. That is socialism. You are basically limiting the power of big business, and the government is a little bit more involved in the economy, which is not necessarily a bad thing. The only reason socialism is so scary is because of fucking McCarthyism. You can just look up socialist programs like Medicare for All is an overwhelmingly popular socialist program. Paid family leave is a socialist program that is also overwhelmingly popular.
Arud Awokani said, oh yeah, Mamdani, best thing for Republicans. Bill Maher, by the way, more of a traditional Democrat, saying something that virtually all Democrats used to believe in. Now, socialism, communism, Marxism, whatever you want to call it, always ends the same way. Unfulfilled promises, more poverty, suffering, misery, and at the end of the day, you will calculate a loss of freedom that you have given up in the name of false security.
So this is really interesting because every ill that plagues socialism is also the ill of capitalism. You give up freedom, buddy. In the United States of America, you can't even get an abortion in some states. In the state of Texas, you can't even fucking smoke pot. Poverty has not been eradicated under capitalism. If you cite the global poverty chart decreasing over the last 100 years or whatever the fuck it is, get the fuck out of my face, because China and their socialist initiatives throughout the 60s, 70s, 80s up until today is the only reason that global poverty has reduced. If you remove China from that equation, global poverty has decreased by like 1 or 2%. Capitalism doesn't fucking solve anything. The only thing that it solves is some rich asshole being able to get another boat or a fucking helicopter. Capitalism is the reason why homelessness exists. Capitalism is the reason why people go fucking hungry, because these companies have, like, for example, it is a law on the books where you cannot give like your leftovers to homeless people. Like in some places you can't give your leftover food to homeless people because feeding the homeless is socialist, apparently.
Now, it is a vile ideology. It's based not in reality. It has resulted in tens of millions of deaths worldwide, but it's not stopping Democrats in New York City from easily electing.
Does capitalism not contribute to deaths either? Do people just not die under capitalism? We have 30,000 people a year that die because they don't have access to health insurance. And they don't have access to health insurance because in the United States, we have a fucking private healthcare system. It is private, so that way people can fucking make money off of you being sick. Millions of people die all over the globe every year because of the fucking military industrial complex. That is a capitalist creation. War profiteering is real. We saw this in Iraq and Afghanistan. People are printing money off of making bombs that kill children in Africa and in the Middle East.
An anti-Semitic radical with extremist ties. We affectionately call him Zoran Kami Marxist Mamdani. In fact, now you have New York Governor Kathy Hochul. She's now bowing at the altar of Mamdani, eager to support him in any way he needs and wants. She knows what's happening in the Democratic Party. She is the governor in name only in the state of New York. Meanwhile, just look at Democrats in Seattle, in Washington, who picked a 40-year-old socialist, by the way, still financially being supported by mommy and daddy, to be the next mayor over the incumbent Democrat. In Maine, Democrats there are lining up behind a pro-Antifa communist lunatic running for the Senate, who until recently had a Nazi tattoo. Even the House Minority Leader, Hakeem Jeffries, he is now currently facing a primary challenge from a 27-year-old socialist BLM organizer, friend, and supporter of Mamdani himself. And Trump hater Dan Goldman, he could also be facing a very serious challenge from the left. And let's not forget AOC's thirst for power. Chucky Schumer's days, they are numbered. That is a fact. And meanwhile, a socialist community organizer is also challenging. Look at this in Los Angeles, Karen Bass. I didn't know it was possible to challenge Mayor Bass from the left, but apparently here is the moment we're living in. Even Spartacus himself is now calling for a political mutiny to make room for all the new young socialists that now are taking over his party. They're all.
Let's reverse engineer and think about why a possible capitalism alternative is so popular primarily among young people. You open your fucking eyes every morning and housing costs are out of control. You go to a 4-year school and get this degree that you have to pay in some instances $200,000 for, and you can't get a fucking job because all of these companies are laying people off and giving these positions to fucking artificial intelligence. So you have to work a service job or a hospitality job with shit pay and no benefits. Your healthcare is upwards of $500 a month. And then when you do have to go to the doctor, the insurance company sends you a fucking bill that says, oh, this procedure isn't covered, even though you will fucking die without it. Oh, this insulin that you need to survive, $100 a vial. There is no future. The planet is literally deteriorating every fucking year. It's getting hotter and hotter. Climate change is an existential threat to humanity. All of this shit is going on. It is prohibitively expensive to have children. Childcare costs are in the tens of thousands. And these dipshits like Sean Hannity, who have more money than God, are going to sit up on their fucking high horse and be like, I just can't believe why socialism is so popular. I mean, look at it. Just go out and chase the American dream. Just go out and buy a house with all that money that you don't have. Just go out and get a job that Microsoft isn't going to hire you for. Fucking spare me, dude.
Bowing at the altar, trying to get on board that train. Take a look.
Chuck Schumer's generation, Nancy Pelosi's generation, John Lewis's generation, they have so much to be proud of. It is time, though, for new leadership. The other generations, X, Millennials, Z, it's time for us to step up.
Fuck this idiot,
the stage
too,
is waiting
by the
for
way.
us to lead, not just the party.
Corey, I'm going to say that Israel shouldn't bomb Palestinians and then vote to give more money and arms to Israel. This guy's a fucking loser. Anyone who takes Cory Booker seriously needs to reevaluate. He is a fucking liar. He does all of this
But the
for political theater. He does not give a fuck about anything.
nation right now.
Now, with socialism, Marxism taking full hold of the Democratic Party and they're catering to an increasingly radical base, they are also turning away scores and scores of voters who do not pass the political purity test. Got to be politically pure in your socialism, Marxism. Take a look.
What happened to the Democrats? Why did they lose so many young men?
People often think I have the answer. My nutshell is generally they were very anti-normal guys. Like
Oh
if
my
you,
fucking
there's
God.
not,
Yeah, two Gen Xers, two guys in their fucking 40s. I don't even know how old Dave Portnoy is. He's probably closer to 50. What I love as a young man myself, as a 29-year-old man, is hearing two millionaires, mind you, two out-of-touch assholes talk about why the Democrats lost young men. The reason they lost young men is every fucking reason I just cited 3 minutes ago. The material conditions of people in the United States are deteriorating. People are losing hope. They are becoming increasingly nihilistic, and the Democratic Party does not offer a legitimate alternative to the status quo. That's why people are either not voting or voting for Donald Trump, because Donald Trump at least put on a fucking act and made these people believe that he was going to do something. The Democrats have an identity problem. That's why they lost young men. It's not because they hate young men. It's not because they're anti-masculinity. No, it's because these people have legitimate gripes with the system, and young women have these same gripes with the system, and nobody is catering to them.
Mean normal guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's okay
Are
to
you
be like
saying
that
there's only
girl-
one way to be a guy?
If that girl's hot, hey, that girl's hot. I want to drink. I want to party. I like frat parties. I like that. That was all bad. Like, and to be honest, it's the white guy, and this sounds.
Dog, start a family. You're 50, talking about that girl's hot, and I want to drink, and I want to party. This is so vapid, and it's dangerous. I don't want to say dangerous because dangerous is, dangerous is a heavy word, but this is not real political dialogue. This is not real analysis of anything happening in the country right now. It's not like Democrats didn't lose the male vote because you're not allowed to say the R word or the F word. They lost the male vote because they are co-piloting economic collapse and directly contributing to the deteriorating futures of everybody in my fucking age group and younger.
Was the bad guy, became the bad guy. And there's a lot of, white dudes who are like, well, I'm not the bad guy. Like, what are you getting mad at me for? I wasn't here for colonialism or any of the stuff that you guys are complaining about.
Oh my God.
Not
He's
Dave
doing
Portnoy.
what? Dave Portnoy is doing white guilt. What is happening? Dude, that's how you know someone's an unserious person. If anybody mentions white guilt, just, take whatever conversation you're about to have with a grain of salt. Nobody in their right mind thinks that a 30-year-old is responsible for slavery, for colonialism, for Jim Crow. Like, no one thinks that. Literally, in a social situation, all I want you to do is just, be normal. Just be normal. Just be a normal dude. Have a conversation, say what you want, do things that you like to do. Don't be mean to people, marginalized or not. Just be a nice, compassionate, respectful person. I think this is, pretty decent advice that everybody should be able to follow. Unless people are mean. If someone's mean to you, you can be mean right back. I have no issue with that. If someone disrespects you, you can disrespect them right back. But always try to be the bigger person.
A guy's guy, except when he's around his favorite dog, Miss Peaches. Funniest stuff you'll ever see on the internet. Now, many Democrats are just simply living in another stratosphere. They're in their little bubble. They're shielded from reality, from their obsession with trans kids to their support for emptying prisons, to their support for unfettered, unvetted illegal immigration, to their constant hatred of all things Donald J. Trump. It really is an alternate universe.
Didn't who was it? It was the Republican. The what is her name? Winsome Earl something. The Republican candidate for governor in Virginia ran like 85% of her ads were like trans focused. The Republican Party is the party that is obsessed with kids' genitals and transitioning. The state of Ohio wanted to have penis inspection day in all public schools to ensure that children were competing in sports under the gender that they were assigned at birth. Like, don't talk to me about the Democrats being so hyper fixated on trans people. That's very clearly the Republican Party. There's also, I don't think, any Democrat that is a prison abolitionist. That's just straight up fantasy.
You're watching a movement that we've never witnessed in this country unfold right before your eyes. That's why you see unhinged riots just like this one all around the country.
If he's talking about a socialist uprising, that is just completely ahistorical. Socialism was very popular in the United States until they made it fucking illegal to be a socialist. Many early 20th century political figures were out and about socialists and Marxists. Even Abraham Lincoln had correspondence with Karl Marx, and then fucking, McCarthyism happened and the USSR happened, and all of a sudden you would be castrated if you were a male socialist. Like, that's not healthy for political discourse, mind you.
Against ICE agents, this one in North Carolina, and they're just trying to do their job, apprehend people that did not respect our laws, our borders, our sovereignty. Take a look.
I'm not gonna lie, this is a very valid reaction to have to an ICE agent. If an ICE agent ever knocked on my door, I would tell them to suck my dick to the base. And then maybe get the balls in there too. They're just a despicable organization. They're the Gestapo. They're kidnapping people. This is a valid reaction to seeing ICE. Fuck ICE.
Very sad, unfortunately, for so many on the left. Trump derangement syndrome, it is driving them crazy. In fact, a psychotherapist told Fox News that this is a real pathology plaguing 75% of his patients.
This is... Oh, this is the doctor that Sean Hannity is citing. Trump derangement syndrome is afflicting 75% of his patients? What? Dog. That's citing foxnews.com. This shit is theater, dude. I don't mean that in like an absolute cinema way. This is entirely fictional and fabricated. This is political fan fiction that they're writing on the Hannity show.
Wow, that's a lot of space that Donald Trump takes up in people's minds. But I do have good news for all of those that do suffer from TDS. There is nothing to fear. Donald Trump is doing the job that he said he would do, securing the border. He's evicting criminal illegal aliens that actually didn't obey our laws. Yes, improving the economy, laying the foundation for great success, lowering inflation, lowering gas prices, draining the swamp, and he is making the world a safe.
Oh, dude, it's just like, I kind of feel bad for Sean Hannity. Imagine just giving up all of your dignity and integrity for this fucking buffoon who literally does not give a fuck about you. And Sean Hannity knows this. He knows that the minute he turns on Trump, that relationship is cooked. He knows that every relationship that Donald Trump has with somebody is entirely transactional. The first time that Sean Hannity speaks out against Donald Trump, it's a wrap. And he knows this. He knows this, which is why he's fucking meat riding so hard.
More peaceful place. That's it. That's what he ran on. That's what he's doing. That's the reality. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
Oh, man, it's just like, it's really sad. I do feel genuine sadness. I experience melancholy when I watch these conservative dipshits just do tricks on the president, because he don't give a fuck about you, lil bro. Straight up. You may think that you guys are friends, but it's fake. It's not real love. I can promise you that. You are selling your soul. You are degrading yourself to be a political pawn in Donald Trump's administration. As always, thank you guys so very much for coming to hang out. Everything I'm associated with is linked down below. Follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed any of the content. Both of those help out tremendously with the algorithm. If you're listening to this on Spotify, follow the show and leave a rating over there. As well, as always, stay safe, stay sane, and I will see you in the next one.